the late goal conceded like that, what's the mood among the players?
Yeah, of course. I think this is the worst moment to concede a goal like that. You know, I was winning 2-1. I think away was a good score, you know, but we go with the draw and we'll try to win the game at home. Yeah.
Is it more frustrating because it feels like up until that point in particular, as a team, you defended really well tonight?
Yeah, we defended really well, but you know they're a good team, they're a good striker, so we need to be ready for everything. Unfortunately, we conceded the goal, and yeah.
But among that, there was a nice moment for you with your first Manchester United goal. How much did you enjoy that?
Yeah, of course. Didn't enjoy too much, no celebration, because it's normal, you know. You know, we want to win, so no time for celebration. And really happy to force my first goal. We don't have the win, but it's okay.
Is that just instinct when you see the shot coming from Manuel Ugarte? It seemed like you reacted so quickly to nod it into the bottom corner. Yeah,
honestly, it was really quick, you know. I don't even think about anything. Just put my head, try to score, and the goal was there, so it's good.
You say coming away from home, going back to Old Trafford level is a good result. What do you think you can take from the performance out there this evening into the second leg next week?
I think to be together like that, defend really well. I think we did really well. You know, was compact. We tried to block every counter-attack. You know, things like that. We need to keep it and to give everything in Old Trafford.
When you put in a performance like that away from home, does that give you more confidence that you can make it through into the semi-finals?
Yeah, I think if you want the 2-1, we are more confident for sure. We concede this goal, you know, it's difficult, but we need to keep the heads up. And we didn't lose, so we can win at Old Trafford, of course. So we're 100% confident, yeah.
Thank you, Leny.
Thank you very much.
There are positives for Manchester United to take. Obviously, a draw away from home in Europe with a second leg to play isn't the worst result, but just in the way it happened, Paul, how different would that mood be in the dressing room when they could have been going back to Old Trafford with a 2-1 lead?
Yeah, I think they'd have been very confident if they'd have won the game. Of course, it gives them a much better chance of going through. But if you look before the game, I think a draw would have been an acceptable result. Now, look, conceding the last minute is not ideal, and it does disappoint you. Of course it does when you're so close to winning the game. But look, Manchester United should go through this game and go in there. It's not a disaster. 2-2 is a really good result. Going away in Europe, anywhere in Europe, it's difficult. It's not an easy, and that wasn't an easy place to go tonight. And Lyon played well at times. Manchester United weren't quite at the best. They're going to have to be better next week. There's no doubt about that. But you'd have to make them favourites to go through.
OK, let's focus on the positives for Manchester United. And that man we just heard from there, Leny Yoro, was one of them, Karen, scoring his first Manchester United goal since joining the club. An unlikely goal scorer as well. What does he do well here?
He reacts. I mean, I think Ugarte keeps it alive. The second phase, really important from set pieces there. Goalkeeper maybe should have caught it, but Yoro, brilliant because he has to turn his body. There's pace coming on it from Ugarte. You see it from this angle. Just gets connection on it. And he said in his interview, but didn't really know too much about it. But nevertheless, it's a great header. And at that point, it was a really vital goal just before half time and kind of changed the narrative, you'd think, in the dressing room with the team talk. But yeah, great goal for him.
An important time to score that equaliser, Paul, as Karen said. In the second half, still wasn't really working for Rasmus Højlund. He's had issues in front of goal. Manchester United as a team as a whole have struggled to score goals. That's been a theme throughout the season. But one player who seems to be improving lately is Joshua Zirkzee, who scored what we thought at this point was going to be the winner.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, really good goal. He's again been a little bit hit and miss. Can't seem to nail a place down, but it's a great ball from Fernandes. Fernandes in them forward areas is really. You almost need two Bruno Fernandes. You need one in centre midfield and one is playing as a number 10. And look, it's a great ball from him. Great header from Zirkzee, and there you think the tie is virtually done at that point. But as we know, they got the equaliser and there's still a little bit to play for. But look, quality all round, especially in forward areas of pitch, is a real problem for Manchester United, and it's something they're going to have to sort out if they're going to progress to where they want to be and try and win this tournament.
Can Ruben Amorim solve that issue with the players he's got?
I think it's going to be difficult. I think these forward players have probably shown they're not quite up to the level required. You look at the goal record from the last 25, 26 games. I think Garnacho scored one, Rasmus Højlund scored 3 in the Premier League this season. It's not quite up to the level I think it is needed. So I think improvements are going to definitely have to be made in that area of pitch. But I think improvements right through the team are going to need. We've all watched the Champions League games Tuesday, Wednesday night, and you watch the level of that game tonight, and it's way below where you need to be.
How far off are Manchester United from that level that you're talking about that we saw?
From Champions League, they look a long way off from that. I think there's a lot of money to be spent to get anywhere near that level. Defensively, they don't look too bad, I don't suppose. I think the wing-backs defensively are OK. Going forward, not quite good enough. Diallo could come into that and be a better type of wing-back going forward, especially. They probably need another centre-half. I think De Ligt, and I think Yoro is starting to look the player that we expected he'd be. Quality in midfield, again, doesn't look quite good enough at the minute. Like I said to Bruno Fernandes, you need that player with quality in the midfield, and you also need his quality up that end of the pitch as well. The way Amorim plays, you talk about 2 number 10s as well. Are they there? Bruno Fernandes obviously could be one of them. Can you use Kobe Manu in that position? I think he needs better. As we saw, especially in that first half, there were times when the ball went up to Højlund, into Garnacho. They're so erratic and so poor in possession that there's almost no belief in them, and either there's no conviction in what they're trying to do. So, look, we all know goals are a big problem for this team, and look, quality is needed all around this team to make it anywhere near a Champions League team.
OK, plenty more for us to dissect. We're also going to be hearing from Ruben Amorim very shortly as well. But defensively tonight, Andre Onana, who came into this game at the centre of attention for matters off the pitch, also in the spotlight for his performance on it this evening. We'll bring you more reaction from Lyon in a couple of minutes.
Got the lead so late. How much of a kick in the teeth is it to come away with parity?
Of course, we are really disappointed. We should have take the 1 goal advantage to the next game, but we have our the next game in our home, and we'll try to win that game.
Both of the goals tonight, of course, coming from mistakes from Andre Onana. Given the week that he's had, how damaging is that for him?
Important is to focus on the next game, on the next game for the league, and then think about the second leg against Lyon. When one player has a mistake, all the team has a mistake. So we continue like that.
Obviously, mistakes from goalkeepers are more damaging just because of the position they play. Does he retain your faith? Do you maybe need to think about changing goalkeepers for Sunday and for next week?
No, we continue to do the same thing. Training, seeing the games, trying to choose the best 11 to win every match.
Outside of that, what did you think of your side's performance overall tonight?
I think we did well. In the first half, we had some difficulties, especially in the beginning, to press the opponent because they play in a different way. But then, especially in the second half, we adapt to control the game. We were near the box of Lyon. So I think we did well. We can do better.
Going forward, it seemed like the chance creation was maybe better tonight. Patrick Dorgu got free down the left-hand side a lot. Are we starting to see those patterns of play, the understanding of the final third that you wanted to see from the team?
Yeah, we are improving game by game, but we need to be more clinical. But again, it's 2 games. This is half-time. We have to think on the next one.
So how do you become more clinical? Is it something you need to do? Is it something the players need to do?
It's to put the ball in the net. That's all. So we are improving. Let's continue to think like that, to work. We have Premier League game Sunday against a top team, and then we have time to think about the second leg.
So what can you take from tonight into that second leg?
We are at the same level for the next game, so we have a game with our fans. So we are giving all we have to go to the next stage.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you very much.
Ruben Amorim thinks his team are continuing to improve game by game. Are you seeing what he's seeing, Paul?
I don't think he believes that. Just honestly, I don't think he likes his team. To be honest, I think he knows he hasn't got a great football team. I think he wants better. He needs better. I think you can see that on the way he is on the touchline. He always looks disappointed to me. The way he's speaking there tells me he's disappointed with what he's got, and he needs better. Everyone knows he needs better if he's going to challenge and be where Manchester United want to be. I think it's all over the pitch. I think he can be quite pleased defensively. I think they look quite tight, looked quite solid recently, but that's taken away that real goal threat that they should have. I think quality all around the pitch, it isn't quite there. I don't think they have control in the middle of the pitch. I don't think the forwards' quality's quite there. So look, he knows, he's not sure, look, he's never going to say it, but he doesn't like this football team. That's something I take away from that. Now, look, I might be wrong, I don't know, but the impression I get is this team is nowhere near the standard that he wants and he expects, and he'll be looking over the next, could take 2 or 3 years to get something a lot better, a lot more enjoyable to watch, a lot more attacking, a lot more quality in every area of the football pitch, and that's what he'll thrive for.
One area that let him down tonight, Karen, is the performance from the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. What did you think of his night?
Well, we said it from the top of the show, we said it at half-time. You know, he's made noise this week with obviously his comments, and if you're going to do that, you have to back it up with your performances. And it hasn't been just this one-off. You know, he's made 8 errors that have led to goals in the Premier League this season. That's the most. And obviously this, for me, the bounce catches him out, he doesn't concentrate on it, and you know, this is probably the worst angle for me. And when you're away in Europe, when you've got the fans in the stadium all against you, you need your goalkeeper to keep you in the game, dig you out from mistakes. This one I'm still kind of caught up in 2 minds whether, you know, it was just a reaction shot and it's quite close and he couldn't do much to it. I probably will edge on that. But nonetheless, it's when you do a lot of talking, you have to be clean in your performance, and he wasn't tonight, and that's disappointing because, like Paul said, I think the team as a whole did defend quite well.
I think his hands have to be a bit softer. Look, I'm no goalkeeping expert, but I think just soft hands just stops that ball, doesn't it? And look, he needs to be better. He's had a really poor year, and as you said, talking about other teams is probably not a wise thing to do.
Amorim just said in that interview that he's going to stick with Andre Onana, he's going to stick with what he's been working with at the moment. A Manchester United fan, they're voicing their opinion. He thinks that it should be a priority to get a new goalkeeper. You've just run through what you think should be the priority for them. Is a goalkeeper near the top of that list?
Yeah, I think it's something they have to think of, but you have to think budget-wise as well. You know, where are the priorities in this team? Can you get away without spending money on a goalkeeper? Goalkeepers are the very important parts of a football team, of course, yeah, and he's not been quite good enough, and maybe he needs a bit of competition as well. It's quite clear that number 2, they've got the Turkish lad, probably isn't good enough to step into his place. But look, it'll come down to money and what he's got to spend, whether he thinks he needs more forwards, more midfield players, and he can just save 30-40 million with a goalkeeper, then just try and survive with it. Because we've seen this goalkeeper is capable. At Ajax, he was good. At Inter Milan, he was good, especially with his feet. That's another issue. He was brought to be a good footballer, and that hasn't quite happened as well as conceding the goal, which is the most important thing. I don't think his passing and distribution from the back has been great. So, look, there are a lot of problems for Ruben Amorim, and he knows that, and he's got a lot to solve.
Long term, plenty for him to solve and plenty for him to work on until Manchester United are back challenging for the Premier League title, which is something that Ruben Amorim has mentioned a lot in his press conferences, Karen. But right now, we're talking right now in this competition and for the rest of this season, have they got enough? Have you seen enough tonight that they should be okay at least next week to get past Lyon and into the semi-finals?
Look, I mean, I think it was a good result all in all. We felt disappointed because it was 2-1, you conceded in the 95th minute, but I do think it was a positive result, and I do think they have enough. I think they kept Lyon quiet tonight, and I think they'll do the same at home. There's still it's still a long way to go to lifting that title and getting Champions League football. And of course, the players all depend on Champions League, the budget and things like that. But for now, I think tonight was a positive result, and I take that away from Europe and be happy at home. Can you still see them lifting that trophy in Bilbao at the end of May?
At this minute, no, I don't think so. I think you can normally see teams. Look, watching PSG the other night, you're thinking, yeah, they can go and win Champions League. Watching Manchester United or Lyon tonight, I'm not thinking they can win the Europa League.